So I'm going to start calling these story time with Jim. And I'm going to start off with, some of the things that are in my life that I thought were really important to me. Will probably, some of the people that I was involved with at the time will probably enjoy what I'm saying. Some people just may go, it's just this crazy old guy who's talking all this crap. But one of the things I need to tell you about is in my younger years, and I had good friends like Phil A. Dykes and Johnny Levins and those folks that I was with on a U.S. Navy frigate, FF-1038, the McCloy. I always call it the battle frigate, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that sort of look at me and chuckle when I say that, but I learned so much because of that ship, and I had great commanding officers, and some of them went on to do much bigger, better things. And I'll just point out Captain Spar went on to be a Desron commander. Scott Fry went on to be the Joint Staff Director. Vern Clark, who took me to Captain's Mast many times, went on to be the Chief of Naval Operations. But one of the things I wanted to point out, and I just want to tell this story because sometimes we hear things and, it's just sort of like, well, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen. And I'd also like to ask my other friends to do these types of videos because our story will be told. So we were on McCloy, and we were in the Mediterranean, and we were doing Beirut, Lebanon at the time, and Beirut wasn't doing well. The Israelis pretty much said that if the PLO wasn't evacuated out of Beirut, they were going to throw them into the sea. And so, because of some politics and stuff, and I'm not a politician, I don't really understand all that stuff, what ended up happening was we spent a summer pretty much just escorting every possible type of ship that you could escort around the Mediterranean, dropping the PLO off to get them out of Beirut. Well, there was this one that we had, and at the time, my sea and anchor detail was like forward lookout on McCloy, which means you're up, up by the signal bridge and stuff like that. So I go up there, and normally what we'd have is we'd have maybe one other ship with us, a Spruance-class destroyer or something like that would be with us, and we'd be doing the escort. No big deal. We'd pick them up, we'd take them wherever we were going. Well, this time, we're sitting off of Beirut Harbor, and there's this big orange ship in there. It's called the Sol Georges, was the name of it. And, but there's a French destroyer that's out there. The DuPont's with us. We had 3 or 4 ships that were with us, and I can't remember if it was Wainwright or, one of those old Leahy class type of cruisers that was out there too, which was abnormal because we didn't normally use those as far as escorting folks. So this one, we take 2. We're going to take them down to, we're going to hand them off, and they're going to end up down in what used to be called South Yemen, southern Yemen, but now, the country has fully gotten together, so it's not South Yemen anymore. But so we go to Port Said, north side of Suez Canal, and we get Sol Georges over there. I remember it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon at sea and anchor detail again, so I'm up there and smoking a cigarette, and they start talking back and forth on bridge-to-bridge radio and stuff like that, and they want to make sure that they get they want to have Johnny Walker Red, as far as they want to have the husbanding agent from Port Said bring out whiskey to them, and they want to have this and they want to have that, and they're out there with their PLO flags, and they're just stuff we've seen before. But then all of a sudden what we see is a couple of speedboats that are coming out. And the speedboats come out, and there's like people that jump off the Soul Georges that jump onto the speedboats. And now that's pretty unique. We'd never seen anything like that. It wasn't until years later that I was told by a former intel guy that what had happened at that point, the people from the Palestine Liberation Organization, Yasser Arafat in particular, had jumped off the ship, a couple of his other buddies with him. They got into the speedboat, they went into Egypt, and then they went to set up their new headquarters in Tunisia. So, just something I sort of wanted to point out there. And when I was young and dumb, and I was on McCloy, I sat there and I watched it, and it was really history. And I'm kind of happy I got to see it, and kind of happy that I understand it. Thanks for listening.